So I thought I would document our property since we finally got it assessed. This is our front yard, that's the house. That's the tree line. That field over there belongs to the Peaks. And then the tree line, the old chicken coop. And then that was just a watering hole, I guess. Then you can come down here. Here's a tree line. It starts the forest. This is all our front yard. Across the street, Daryl's property, been in his family for generations and generations. So here is where we start into the trail that we finally found out we owned. We thought our property just ended right here at the tree line, but no, we finally got it assessed, and we can actually got our deer feeder here because the deer come through here. This is a trail that we're trying to keep clean enough for us to walk on. Charlie's over there. We found families where they used to pile their trash because back then they didn't have trash dumps to take their trash to. They would designate a pile somewhere in the woods, and that's where they would dump their trash. So we found that over here, and Charlie's picking up, I'll show you all the bottles. There's tons of bottles. Really cute, interesting. Those are mostly corn oil. They used a lot of corn oil. Fire pit where they burned the stuff. But Charlie's just out here. He wants to clean them up for some reason, but we'll never use that section. So I'm thinking we should just leave it. Back on the trail, you can come all the way down. And this asphalt, there used to be a road through here that went to town, but then they built the new highway, so this one doesn't, it's not used. It just got grown over. And there's another little way, a pathway to go up to our front yard. But here you can just keep walking down. And when you walk down here, you make sure you have your high boots that are tight, your jeans. I have a long sleeve white t-shirt on, or thermal shirt, white long sleeve. And that way you can, make sure you don't get ticks or anything like that, but it's still kind of cold right now. So, but the trees, just, right now everything's bare. Hasn't filled in yet, but all this will get filled in. So as we continue on the path, there's the highway. We continue down the path. And the deer use this mostly. I'm sure there's other animals that like to use it too. But we mostly have black snakes around here, so it's not too, I'm not too worried about snakes, and they'll mostly run from you anyway if they hear you coming. And black snakes don't bother you at all. And you keep going. Now that house there belongs to Jennifer Peak, and the Peaks own a lot of land, so they own a lot of land around here. There's another trail going down there the deer probably use, and we're going to walk down to the creek. So you just keep following the little path here. Like I said, we're trying to keep it as clear as possible so that we can use it, because we found out this is our property. Our property goes, we own all this down to the water, and then we own the part where the water actually comes out of the spring, or the mountain, and starts the spring or creek or whatever you want to call it. So that, we'll just keep going here. And there is the pump house that used to pump water up to all the families that lived up here. And we own that. That's all this section here, all the way up to the highway. Here's where the water starts. And I'll show you in a minute. I'm at the peak now. It's kind of treacherous coming down. There's our markers on that tree there that show this side here is ours. Once you cross over the water, that begins Jennifer Peak's property, and she has that up there to her house. But from this tree, from that tree across to, let me get down this is pretty steep right here. We want to eventually build stairs out of rocks so we can come down a little easier. There's the other marker. So this tree across to that marker, and then you see another marker there. All this over here, from this trail down, is ours. All the way, pump house, all the way up to, there'll be a marker up there near the highway, and then all up back to our house, which is way back up there. So we'll walk down to the water. Hopefully there's nothing sleeping down here that I'm going to disturb. I should be making a lot more noise. Hello! Anyway, let's get down here to the water. Oh, lost the thing there. There's another marker. So the creek goes all the way down, and there's waterfalls that go down, and then it heads off and meets up with the calf killer. But right here, all this, it's mine. I love it. I wasn't sure, so I quit coming down here because I didn't know if I owned it or not, and I wanted to stay on my own property. That's kind of a big thing around here. You don't go on someone's property unless you ask permission. So now that I know this is mine, I can come down here. I can collect rocks. It stays a lot cooler down here during the summer. So you want to come down here if you want to cool off, and you can, sit in the water. But that's the old pump house. It doesn't work. We doubt we can ever get it to work because you have to have, there's a wheel that it used to get hooked on the wheel down by the waterfall, and that wheel is on her property, so we can't really get it to go. But it's beautiful down here. I love it. I'm glad I own it, so I can come down here whenever I want. But then we can head back up and go back to the house. But this is really, really beautiful, and I just so happy. I'm just so happy.